Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is September 25th, and right now we're looking at the mid-level water vapor loop. You can see the state of California right here, and we're looking at the frontal system moving into the Pacific Northwest now. It's spreading some clouds into Northern California, and we may just very clip the northwest portion of California with some precipitation from that. But as always, we'll take a look at the forecast here as we go on into the extended forecast and see what is to come. So let's dive into things here a little bit this morning. You can see that marine layer is pretty intrusive into Southern California, Central Coast, Bay Area, and all the way up towards Northern California. Kind of a mixed bag there. But you can see the frontal system draping down and starting to push some clouds towards Northwest California as we speak. Thunderstorm outlook for today. Nothing expected for today or the next couple of days here, but we do have a little bit of something come through the extended forecast, and I'll show you that here in a moment. I clicked on the station here, Corona del Mar. If I zoom out, you can kind of see where Orange County is, Santa Ana. There's Orange and Anaheim as well. And you can see everybody else with one of these weather stations out there. If you click on the individual location, you can see the wind is updating every few seconds, pressure, temperature. It does UV index and solar radiation and whatnot. And it tells you when it starts raining at your house. And it's got a lightning detection system with it as well. So if you want one of these stations, click on that link down below to save 10% off. Taking a look at what's going on at about 18,000 feet or 500 millibars in the atmosphere. This shows the ridge and trough position quite nicely. You can see that frontal system moving through the Pacific Northwest. Another strong system moves into western British Columbia, but we are going to remain above average in the short range and perhaps through the extended forecast as well, all the way on in through early October. As you can see, another ridge of high pressure developing here as we go on in towards the end of the month. This will be September 29th and now into September 30th with this ridging developing here across a lot of the west coast of North America. So that is what we're going to be watching coming up. And this could even drive a little bit of an offshore wind event here. Something we've been watching for the last few days, and I'll show you that here in a moment as well. If we take a look at precipitation chances, there goes that first system. It just kind of misses Northern California. The stronger system is a little bit further north, doesn't bring any precipitation as well. You can see we seem to be protected for now, and kind of a slow point in the season. You can see maybe some tropical development trying to stir down here south of Baja, but it doesn't look like it amounts to much on last night's European model run. But if I scroll back towards about hour 132, you can see some high pressure here over the interior, and that could start to bring some offshore winds, but it doesn't look like a major event by any means. Now, take a look at wind and wave. Actually, this is wave action driven by winds. Of course, the strong storms up here across the Gulf of Alaska. You can see we get a little bit of a bump here as we go through the end of the week. Then the stronger storm moves, and you can see some of that activity move down towards Central California. It doesn't look like it affects Southern California too much. Then you get the typical wind-driven stuff here off the coastal areas as we go on into the early portion of October. Now, taking a look at some good news here. Vertically integrated smoke on the high-resolution rapid refresh. Much of the state and a lot of the Southwest is doing quite nicely. It looks like there's a fire right there on the Mexico-Arizona border, but if I scroll out 48 hours and just kind of let this run in a loop, you can see we're doing quite well, relatively speaking. You guys know how bad it can get this time of year, so enjoy that. Now, I've scrolled ahead here towards hour 132. This is next Monday morning. You can see the high pressure over the interior, and you can see some of this gradient here, and this would bring some offshore wind here. It's not an extreme event or anything like that, but you could get some gusty winds with it, and that's something we'll be watching over the next few days. It'll also warm some areas up, maybe even all the way out to the coastal areas for at least a couple of days. More on that here in a moment. Taking a look at the GFS, again, pretty good agreement with the European, and you can see that offshore wind gradient here back down into California. And we'll be watching that to see if that trend's a little bit stronger or weaker over the next couple of days. Now, this is looking at 2-meter temperature anomaly. State of California is here. You got the GFS or the USA model here on the right and the European model here on the left. So if I put this into motion, you see some of the coastal areas in the meantime a little bit below average, but if you go into the interior areas above average, pretty good model agreement on that. And you can see as we scroll on in towards the end of the month and on in through early October, look at this, some pretty dramatically warm conditions out there. It's still relatively warm this time of year, and now you're adding to it with this temperature anomaly. So that is what we're looking at as we remain warm all the way on in through early October, it looks like. Then you can see the GFS as we start to get a little bit further out, starts to cool things down a bit here, but you're looking 9 to 10 days out. We'll watch that here. You can see the disagreement between the European model here on the left, and here's the 6 to 10 day above average bullseye across the Southwest USA. Kind of below normal, maybe some near normal here for Southern California, but again, not looking at a lot of precipitation right now in our extended forecast. We'll continue to revisit that on a daily basis. And taking a look at the drought monitor, we haven't looked at this in a while. We do have some moderate. There is some severe drought just clipping the California-Arizona border here. The moderate does include Las Vegas, some portions of Northern California, and the yellow is abnormally dry. Hasn't developed into drought just yet, but hopefully we'll get some precipitation before too long as we head on in towards the fall months, so we don't continue to dry out and develop some drought conditions across the state of California. And if you want to help support the channel, there's some nice moisture wicking t-shirts, men's premium hoodies. The women's premium hoodies are quite nice as well. I wear these on occasion myself. So yeah, if you want to click on the store down below, go ahead and do that. But yeah, what else? Anyway, we'll just continue to break things down, and hope you guys are having a good day. Otherwise, click like and subscribe. We'll do this all again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.